I am speaking to you now because you have allowed too much noise to surround the quiet place where I whisper. You have been pulled in many directions, distracted by fears, thoughts, expectations, and the weight of things you were never meant to carry alone. I am calling you at this exact moment because your heart has reached a point where it is both wounded and open, tired yet ready, uncertain yet searching for something deeper than the cycle you have been living in. You did not stumble onto these words by accident. You are not here by coincidence. I have arranged every second leading to this moment because there is something inside you that is ready to awaken. I am not coming to punish you, frighten you, or burden you. I am coming to lift what has been crushing your spirit, to remove what has been stealing your sleep, and to remind you of who you are when everything else falls silent. You have felt alone in rooms full of people, unseen even by those who say they care, and misunderstood even when you try to explain yourself. There have been nights when your thoughts frightened you, when your breath felt heavy, and when you wondered if anything in your life would ever truly change. You have carried memories that still sting, mistakes you wish you could undo, and dreams that feel further away than ever. But I am telling you now, none of those moments disqualified you. None of those tears went unnoticed. None of those fears pushed me away. I have been closer to you in your silence than you realize, closer in your weakness than in your strength, closer in your failures than in your victories. You believed I was absent because the world made you believe that my presence must be loud to be real. But I am not limited to noise. I move in stillness, in whispers, in gentle nudges that you often dismiss as coincidence or imagination. You have felt me many times without recognizing me. I am speaking to you urgently because time is shifting around you. A door you have been waiting for is opening, but if you step into it carrying the same fear, guilt, or hesitation that has held you back, you will not see what I intend for you. I am not warning you to scare you. I am calling you because you are standing at the edge of a turning point, and your next decisions, the thoughts you entertain, and the people you surround yourself with will either lift you into your purpose or pull you into another cycle of delay. You were not created for cycles of frustration. You were created for growth, movement, transformation, and expansion. The battle you have been fighting was not meant to destroy you, it was meant to prepare you. What has felt like rejection was redirection. What has felt like loss was positioning. What has felt like silence was me rearranging things you could not see yet. You have asked for signs. You have asked for clarity. You have asked for something undeniable, something unmistakable, something that would leave no doubt in your heart that I am speaking to you. This is that sign. This is that moment. This is that clarity. You felt something pull you here, something nudge you, something that you cannot fully explain with logic. That is my hand. That is my timing. That is my voice reaching through the noise of everything else that competes for your attention. You have been afraid of changing because change threatens the familiarity that has become your comfort, even when it hurts you. But it is time to let go of what has been draining you. You are clinging to people, memories, habits, and patterns that were only meant to be temporary. You have outgrown certain rooms, outgrown certain expectations, outgrown the version of yourself that survived the past but cannot carry you into the future I am preparing for you. You are stepping into a season that requires a stronger, wiser, freer version of you. And that version is already inside you, waiting for permission to emerge. I am not asking you to pretend to be strong. I am asking you to allow me to strengthen you. I am not asking you to figure everything out. I am asking you to trust that I already have. You have been trying to control outcomes because you fear what happens when you release your grip. But the control you cling to has become a cage. It has limited your peace, your joy, your creativity, and your belief in what is possible. When you release the illusion of control, you make room for me to move in ways that exceed your understanding. You are not losing your power by trusting me, you are accessing the strength that was always meant to be yours. I know the insecurities you hide. I know the thoughts you don't speak. I know the moments when you feel small, unworthy, or forgotten. But I did not create you to live constantly questioning your worth. I placed greatness within you long before you were aware of your limitations. I placed purpose within you before the world placed doubt around you. I placed strength within you that you have not even accessed yet. You are much more than the opinions of others, much more than your past, and much more than the mistakes you wish you could erase. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not lost beyond redemption. You are not behind. You are becoming. You feel urgency right now because something inside you knows that your life is meant to shift. That urgency is not fear, it is alignment. It is your spirit recognizing that this message is not random. It is my voice reaching the most hidden places of your heart. It is my reminder that you are still called, still chosen, still loved, still capable, still needed, still destined for more than what you have settled for. You have been waiting for something external to suddenly fix what is happening inside you. But the shift begins within. I am stirring your spirit because the transformation you need will not come from the approval of others, from material changes, or from people finally understanding you. It will come from your willingness to surrender the heaviness you have normalized. You do not have to carry the pressure of being everything for everyone while feeling like nothing for yourself. You do not have to pretend to be okay when the truth is that you have been overwhelmed. I have seen every moment when you smiled while your heart trembled. I have seen the days when you pushed through exhaustion because you didn't want to disappoint anyone. I have seen how often you give, even when nothing is being poured back into you. And I am telling you now, it is time to rest, to release, to breathe, to let me be who I have always wanted to be for you. There is a part of you that feels undeserving of my love because you measure yourself by your mistakes. But I do not define you by what you regret. I define you by what I placed within you before the world ever had a chance to wound you. I know the moments you don't talk about, the regrets that echo in your mind, the choices you wish you could reverse. Yet even in those moments, I never turned away from you. You thought your failures separated you from me, but they became the very places where my grace became more visible. Every time you thought you ruined your future, I was already shaping a path through the pieces of what shattered. I have not abandoned you, not even once. My patience with you has not run out. My mercy has not dried. My love has not weakened. My plans for you have not been cancelled. You are entering a time where things will make sense in ways they never have before. The people who left were meant to leave because their presence would have limited your growth. The opportunities that slipped away were not punishments, they were protections. The delays were not denials, they were alignments with a timing that is wiser than your understanding. Everything that has confused you will eventually reveal itself as necessary. What you thought broke you was shaping the strength you will soon rely on. What you thought was the end was simply the closing of a chapter that could not carry the weight of your future story. Listen carefully, because this is important. You cannot return to the version of yourself that you were. That version was built for survival, not for destiny. You have been operating from habits formed in pain, but I am shifting you into a life built on purpose. This requires your heart to expand, your mind to open, and your spirit to release the fears that have quietly ruled your decisions. You have allowed anxiety to speak louder than hope. You have allowed doubt to speak louder than faith. You have allowed past wounds to speak louder than present possibilities. But I am silencing the voices that have drained you. You may still hear their echoes for a while, but their power over you is breaking. You are rising into a new strength, even if you don't feel it yet. You have asked me for blessings, but you feared losing the things you already have. You cannot hold on to the past and receive the future at the same time. You cannot cling to what is familiar and also step into what is promised. I am not taking anything from you without the intention of replacing it with something better. When I remove, it is for your protection. When I delay, it is for your growth. When I redirect, it is for your elevation. Trust that what I rearrange is always for your good. Even when it feels uncomfortable, there is something inside you that has been asleep for too long, the part of you that dreams boldly, loves deeply, reaches confidently, and hopes without fear. Life has disappointed you enough times that you began shrinking your expectations. You stopped asking for more because you didn't want to be hurt again. But I am breathing new life into the places that have withered. I am awakening your courage, your creativity, your sense of purpose, your desire for more than mere survival. I am reminding you of who you were before the world taught you to doubt yourself. You have spent so much time trying not to fail that you forgot you were created to grow. Growth requires movement. Movement requires courage. Courage requires trust. Trust requires surrender. Surrender requires letting go of what you cannot control. And I am guiding you step by step, even when you do not realize it. Every moment of uncertainty, every unexpected turn, every closed door, every quiet whisper pulling at your spirit, none of it has been random. I am orchestrating it all with the precision of someone who knows your entire story from beginning to end. Do not fear the next season. Do not fear the changes that are coming. Do not fear the shifts within your relationships, your environment, your thinking, or your path. Everything is bending toward your growth. Everything is aligning with your purpose. Everything is preparing you for the chapter you prayed for. You are not losing your life, you are transitioning into the life you were actually meant to live. There will be moments when it still feels uncertain, when you cannot clearly see what is ahead. That is when I need you to trust me most. The path will not always be illuminated, but my presence will remain your guide. When you feel lost, I will direct you. When you feel weak, I will strengthen you. When you feel overwhelmed, I will calm you. When you feel alone, I will surround you. When you doubt yourself, I will remind you that you are chosen, equipped, and capable of far more than you believe. You are entering a chapter where the things you thought were impossible will begin to unfold naturally. The breakthroughs you prayed for will arrive quietly, unexpectedly, beautifully. The peace you have been searching for will return to you in ways that feel like home. The clarity you begged for will come softly but unmistakably. I am not finished with you. I am just beginning to reveal what has been waiting for you. You have been walking through seasons that felt like emptiness, as if everything you once relied on was suddenly distant or unfamiliar. But emptiness is not abandonment, it is space being cleared for what is coming. You kept asking why certain things were taken from you, why certain people drifted away, why certain opportunities slipped through your fingers. You questioned if you were doing something wrong, if you were unworthy, if you were being punished. But you were not being punished, you were being prepared. The things that left your life no longer matched the level you are rising into. The people who walked away could not walk with you where you are going next. The situations that fell apart were built on foundations too weak to support the blessings I am bringing. You have been fighting battles that were never yours to fight. You have held on to guilt that does not belong to you. You have carried responsibility for the emotions of others as if their healing depended entirely on your strength. I am freeing you from that weight. You are not responsible for fixing what others refuse to face. You are not responsible for restoring what others continuously break. You are not responsible for holding together what was never stable to begin with. Your heart has stretched beyond its limits trying to make everyone feel understood, supported, loved, and comforted, even when your own heart was hurting. But I am calling you back to yourself. Back to balance. Back to peace. Back to boundaries that protect the gift inside you. You have given so much of yourself that you sometimes forget who you are when you are not giving. You confuse your worth with your usefulness. You measure your value through what you do instead of who you are. But I see you even when you do nothing. I love you even when you are exhausted. I cherish you even when you feel empty. Your worth is not tied to your productivity, your achievements, your image, or your perfection. Your worth is anchored in me, and that worth does not rise or fall with your mistakes or your accomplishments. It simply is, and it is immense. I am speaking to you with urgency because your heart is at a threshold. You are not the person you once were, but you are not yet the person you are becoming. This in-between space feels uncomfortable because it is a place of shedding. You are shedding old fears, old doubts, old patterns, old ways of thinking that once protected you but now limit you. You are shedding the belief that you must settle for whatever is given to you. You are shedding the idea that you must adapt to environments that shrink you. You are shedding the tendency to silence yourself to keep the peace. Peace that requires you to abandon yourself is not peace, it is captivity masquerading as calm. You have dimmed your light to make others comfortable. You have hidden your gifts because you feared judgment. You have swallowed your truth because you feared conflict. But I did not create you to be quiet in your purpose. I did not create you to shrink in rooms where you were meant to expand. I did not place gifts inside you so they could remain unused out of fear. You are meant to shine, to grow, to influence, to inspire, to transform the spaces you enter. And I am beginning to stir the boldness within you again, the boldness you buried after disappointment, after criticism, after heartbreak, after failure. That boldness is returning. You have been waiting for confirmation that you are on the right path. But the confirmation is in the restlessness you feel around anything that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that you are lost, it is a sign that your spirit is refusing to remain in places that your destiny has outgrown. What once felt normal now feels draining. What once felt comforting now feels limiting. What once felt right now feels heavy. This is the spiritual shifting. Your soul recognizing that you are being pulled somewhere higher. You have asked me to show you your purpose, but purpose is rarely revealed all at once. It is revealed step by step, through obedience, through trust, through the willingness to walk even when the path is only partly lit. You want certainty, but certainty does not build faith. You want control, but control does not create surrender. You want predictability, but predictability does not produce growth. So I am guiding you in ways that stretch you, not to break you, but to build the strength you will need for what you are stepping into. You have cried silently, thinking no one noticed. But I noticed. You have questioned your own strength, thinking you were failing. But you were not failing, you were transforming. You have worried that you are not enough, but you have always been enough. You do not see what I see. I see the resilience in your spirit. I see the compassion in your heart. I see the brilliance in your mind. I see the potential in your future. I see the seeds of greatness that you overlook because of the wounds of your past. But I am healing those wounds, not by erasing the memories, but by turning them into wisdom. Not by removing the scars, but by making them signs of survival and strength. You do not realize how much you have grown already. You do not realize how many storms you have survived that could have destroyed you. You do not realize how many times you were inches away from giving up, yet something inside you, something divine, refused to let you fall. That something was me. I was the whisper that kept you fighting. I was the strength in the moments you could not explain. I was the peace that came after nights of unrest. I was the clarity that arrived after confusion. I was the comfort that reached you when no one else knew how to reach you. Now I am calling you into a season where what you carry will finally begin to flourish. The ideas you have held inside you will begin to unfold. The healing you have prayed for will begin to manifest. The confidence you lost will begin to return. The clarity you longed for will begin to sharpen. You will not be wandering aimlessly. You will walk with purpose, with direction, with a renewed sense of who you are and what you are capable of. This next chapter requires you to trust me more deeply than before. It requires you to release the fear that has been whispering lies into your thoughts. It requires you to silence the doubts that tell you you are unprepared. It requires you to believe that what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. I am with you. I am ahead of you. I am beside you. I am within you. You are not walking into the unknown alone. You are walking into a future I have already prepared. You have been trying to make sense of your journey using logic alone, but not everything I am doing in your life will be logical. Some things will only be understood in hindsight. Some blessings will arrive in ways you never expected. Some answers will come through discomfort. Some breakthroughs will come disguised as endings. You must trust that even when something appears to be falling apart, I am allowing it to fall into place. I do not waste pain. I do not waste time. I do not waste seasons. Everything you have walked through, even the parts you wish you could erase, has shaped you into someone capable of carrying what is ahead. The reason you feel this deep pull, this urgency, this spiritual stirring, is because you are standing on the edge of change. Not small change, transformational change. The kind of change that alters the direction of your life. The kind of change that shifts your identity, your purpose, your relationships, and your understanding of yourself. You can feel it even when you cannot explain it. You sense it in your chest, in the tension in your spirit, in the unfamiliar desire to let go of things you once clung to. This is not fear. This is awakening. There were times when you begged me for signs, yet ignored the nudges I placed in your heart. You wanted clear direction, but you hesitated when clarity arrived. You wanted me to open doors, but you were afraid to walk through them. You asked me for growth, yet resisted the situations that forced you to grow. But even in your hesitation, I have been patient with you. Even in your uncertainty, I have guided you. Even in your doubt, I have remained faithful. I am not looking for perfection, I am looking for willingness. A willing heart can accomplish more with me than a perfect plan without me. You have spent years believing that you needed to be strong all the time, that vulnerability was weakness, that asking for help meant failing. But strength without softness becomes hardness, and that hardness has been weighing on your spirit. I am softening you, not to weaken you, but to heal you. You do not need to guard your heart from me. You do not need to hide the parts of you that ache. You do not need to pretend you are unaffected. I know every unspoken fear. I know every hidden wound. I know every suppressed hope that you are afraid to voice. Bring them to me. Not because you are incapable, but because you were never meant to carry this alone. I am restoring your hope. Slowly, quietly, gently. Hope that was bruised by disappointment. Hope that was dimmed by delays. Hope that was buried under responsibility. Hope that you once had as a child, the belief that anything was possible, that life held more than what you currently see, that you were meant for something meaningful. That hope is returning. You may feel it in small sparks, tiny moments of clarity or excitement that appear and disappear quickly. But they are signs of revival. Your spirit is waking up again. You prayed for me to change your situation, but what you truly needed was transformation inside your heart. Situations can change, but without inner transformation, you would eventually end up in the same cycles. I am not just changing what is around you, I am changing what is within you. I am reshaping your beliefs, renewing your mind, strengthening your identity, and reminding you of your worth. You are stepping into a version of yourself that you have not met yet, but when you do, you will understand why the waiting was necessary. There is a reason you feel disconnected from certain people now. It is not anger or resentment, you simply no longer resonate with what once felt normal. Your spirit has grown, but some relationships have not. You cannot shrink yourself to fit into places where you no longer belong. You cannot dim your light to maintain connections that thrive in your shadows. You cannot silence your truth to avoid discomfort. Growth creates distance, not because of bitterness, but because of alignment. Those who are meant to stay will grow with you. Those who cannot grow with you were never meant to stay forever. You have asked me why some people hurt you when your intentions were pure. Why some betrayed you when your heart was loyal. Why some took advantage of your kindness. Why some left without explanation. Their actions were not reflections of your worth. They were reflections of their wounds. You were being protected, even when it felt like rejection. You were being redirected, even when it felt like abandonment. You were being separated from what would have held you back from your purpose. Do not look at these losses as failures. They were pruning. Necessary pruning. Painful pruning. But pruning that will allow you to flourish. You are entering a season where your spirit will no longer settle for what drains you. You will lose interest in conversations that lack depth. You will distance yourself from negativity without guilt. You will crave peace more than chaos. You will value authenticity more than approval. You will choose growth over comfort. This shift is not temporary, it is transformation. You are stepping into who you were always meant to be. You may feel unprepared, but you are ready. You may feel unsure, but you are aligned. You may feel unqualified, but I qualify those I call. Everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the wisdom, the resilience, the intuition, the courage, it is all there, waiting to be activated. You are not starting from nothing. You are rising from everything. The challenges you faced have sharpened you. The heartbreaks have humbled you. The losses have taught you. The silence has refined you. The uncertainty has strengthened your faith. The delays have built your patience. Nothing has been wasted. You have been forged, shaped, stretched, tested, and now, prepared, you are standing at the doorway of a new chapter, and all I ask is that you walk with me. Not with fear. Not with self-doubt. Not with the weight of the past. But with trust. With openness. With willingness. I am guiding you into a life that reflects the fullness of who you are. A life of peace, purpose, clarity, protection, and abundance, not just externally, but internally. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is why you were drawn to these words today. You have been standing on the edge of decisions that feel too heavy for your heart. Choices that seem tied to your future in ways you cannot yet see. You fear choosing wrong, fear losing what remains, fear stepping into something unfamiliar. But I am telling you now, the fear you feel is not a warning to stop, but a sign that you are approaching new territory. Growth always begins where comfort ends. You are not being pushed to leap blindly, you are being guided to step faithfully. I am not hiding the path from you out of cruelty, I am revealing it slowly so that you learn to trust the one who walks before you, not just the direction itself. You have carried responsibilities that drained you, commitments you agreed to out of guilt instead of alignment, roles you stepped into because you thought it was expected of you. But this new season requires intentionality. You cannot say yes to everything and expect your spirit to thrive. You cannot pour endlessly without replenishment. You cannot continue giving energy to things that bear no fruit. I am teaching you how to discern what deserves your presence and what no longer requires your involvement. Not everything that demands your attention is meant to receive it. Not every voice that speaks to you speaks truth. Not every opportunity is aligned with your destiny. I will teach you how to recognize the difference. You have been afraid to disappoint others by prioritizing yourself. But taking care of your heart is not selfish, it is stewardship. I placed your soul in your care. And you must learn to protect it from what harms its peace. You have spent years abandoning yourself to accommodate others. Yet now, I am calling you to honor the needs of your spirit. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can be loving and still say no. You can be compassionate and still walk away from what wounds you. Peace is not found in pleasing everyone. Peace is found in aligning with my voice above all others. You wonder why your desires have changed, why things that once excited you now feel empty, why environments that felt familiar now feel suffocating. It is because your spirit is elevating, and elevation always shifts your appetite. You cannot crave growth and remain comfortable with stagnation. You cannot desire purpose and remain satisfied with distraction. You cannot long for clarity while living in chaos. Your inner world is changing, and your outer world will eventually reflect that transformation. The dreams you once dismissed because they felt too big, too unrealistic, or too risky were not accidents. They were planted in you for a reason. You have run from them, minimized them, or buried them because you felt unprepared or unworthy. But those dreams are seeds of your purpose. They keep resurfacing because they are tied to who you are becoming. You do not have to know how everything will unfold. You just need to take the next step. The next step is always revealed to those who are willing to move. Do not underestimate the power of the internal shifts happening within you. Even when you see no external evidence yet, your spirit knows change is coming. You feel it in the way certain things no longer bring you comfort. You feel it in the way your intuition has grown sharper. You feel it in the way you are beginning to crave stillness over noise, authenticity over image, truth over avoidance. This is spiritual alignment. You are coming home to yourself, and you are coming home to me. You have spent seasons feeling invisible, unheard, overlooked, or taken for granted. You wondered if your presence made a difference, if your kindness mattered, if your efforts were seen. I have seen every gesture. Every sacrifice, every silent tear, every attempt to do right even when no one acknowledged it. Your goodness has not been forgotten. Your heart has not been ignored. Your intentions have not gone unnoticed. I will honor what others fail to appreciate. I will reward what others took for granted. I will remember what others chose to ignore. There are blessings that have been prepared with your name on them, blessings that no one else can claim, blessings that have taken shape quietly behind the scenes while you thought nothing was happening. You are not waiting in vain. You are being aligned with the right timing, the right opportunities, the right connections, and the right breakthroughs. Do not rush what requires divine precision. What is meant for you will not pass you. What is aligned with your purpose will not be given to another. You are not late. You are in preparation. The wounds you carry, those deep, quiet, private wounds, are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you loved, that you tried, that you cared, that you hoped even when it hurt. But wounds are not meant to remain open. I am healing you in places you stopped believing could be healed. Places where betrayal left cracks, where disappointment left weight, where loneliness left emptiness, where fear left shadows. Healing will not always feel gentle. Sometimes it will feel like release, like letting go. Like endings you did not expect. But healing always leads to freedom. You have been hesitant to trust again, hesitant to believe again, hesitant to open your heart again. Your hesitation is understandable, but it is time to stop living protected from possibility. You cannot experience the fullness of life if you continually shield yourself from vulnerability. You will love again, not only people, but life, purpose, and yourself. You will trust again, not blindly, but wisely. You will hope again, not because everything is perfect, but because your spirit knows you were created for more than fear. You have underestimated your resilience. You see your scars as signs of survival. But I see them as marks of strength. Each one tells a story of something you overcame, something that tried to break you but failed. You are stronger than you realize, wiser than you give yourself credit for, and more capable than your doubts suggest. The strength you have developed in silence will carry you through doors that once intimidated you. I am elevating your perspective. I am showing you that what felt like endings were transitions. What felt like losses were redirections. What felt like delays were preparations. What felt like silence was guidance. You were never abandoned. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. Everything has been unfolding in divine sequence. And now, your spirit is waking up to this truth. You have reached the moment where everything within you is ready to shift, even if you still feel unsure. Trust that readiness. Trust the quiet strength forming inside you. Trust the instincts that have grown sharper through every season you've survived. You are not the same person you once were, and that is not something to fear. That is evidence of growth. You are shedding what no longer aligns with your spirit, and that can feel like loss even when it is liberation. But I am telling you now, do not mourn the versions of yourself that were shaped by survival. Honor them, thank them, and release them. You are stepping into a chapter where you will no longer live just to get through the day. You will live with intention, direction, and clarity. The fog that has clouded your mind is beginning to lift. The heaviness in your chest is beginning to loosen. The doubts that whispered lies about your worth are losing their power. Just breathe. Breathe deeply. You are entering alignment, and alignment always begins with release. Release the fear of what comes next. Release the belief that you are unworthy of peace. Release the idea that you must earn love. Release the guilt that has lingered in your spirit for too long. Release the pressure to be everything for everyone. Release the pain that you have carried quietly, hoping time alone would heal it. Time does not heal all wounds, truth does. Presence does, surrender does. And you are finally ready to surrender what you were never meant to hold alone. There is a new strength rising in you. A strength that does not come from pretending, but from understanding. Understanding that you cannot control everything. Understanding that not every battle is yours. Understanding that not every loss is failure. Understanding that your story is not defined by your struggles but refined by them. Understanding that your purpose does not disappear because you had moments of doubt. You have grown in silence, in storms, in confusion, in heartbreak, in places where you questioned whether light would ever reach you again. And yet here you are, still searching. Still open, still seeking truth. That openness is not weakness. It is a sign that your spirit is still alive and ready to rise. You may think you are behind, but you are exactly where you need to be for what comes next. You may think you have lost too much time, but transformation can happen in a moment when the heart is ready. You may think you have made too many mistakes, but I will use even those to guide you. You may think you are unprepared, but preparation has been happening in every quiet season you endured. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been random. Every moment has been connected, shaping you with purpose and intention. Listen closely, because this is the truth you have been needing to hear. You are more capable than you realize. You are more supported than you know. You are more guided than you feel. You are not walking into the unknown alone, you are walking with me. I have gone before you. I am beside you. I am within you. When you feel uncertain, I will steady you. When you feel afraid, I will protect you. When you feel lost, I will guide you. When you feel weak, I will strengthen you. You will never walk a path I have not prepared. You will never face a battle I have not already equipped you for. You will never be abandoned to navigate your life alone. You are stepping into a time where clarity will come more quickly, where peace will become your default, where your intuition will sharpen, where opportunities will align effortlessly. Where people who match your spirit will enter your life, where old wounds will lose their power, where joy will return to you in ways you feared were no longer possible. This is not wishful thinking. This is alignment. This is what happens when the heart opens, when the spirit softens, when the mind releases, when the soul listens. Do not worry about how everything will unfold. You do not need to see the full map to take the next step. All you need to do is stay open, open to growth, open to guidance, open to possibility, open to becoming who you are meant to be. I will make a way where you see none. I will bring answers where you have only had questions. I will provide strength where you have felt empty. I will restore what was lost, revive what was numb, and renew what was weary. You do not need to force anything. What is meant for you will come with a peace that requires no struggle to sustain, and now I speak this into your spirit. You are entering a season of rising. Rising above the doubts that once controlled you. Rising above the fears that once silenced you. Rising above the wounds that once shaped your identity. Rising into strength, into clarity, into purpose, into truth. Your life is not ending. Your story is not stagnant. Your purpose is not dim. A new chapter begins the moment you choose to trust what I am awakening inside you. Let go of what has weighed you down. Step into what is calling you forward. Walk with courage, even if your voice trembles. Walk with faith, even if your steps are small. Walk with openness, even if you still feel uncertain. You are ready, not because you feel ready, but because I have readied you. I am with you. I am guiding you. I am speaking to you even now. All you need to do is trust the pull in your spirit. Trust the shift. Trust the timing. Trust the unfolding. This message reached you today because this is the moment your life begins to change, not through force, not through fear, but through awakening. Your heart is opening. Your spirit is aligning. Your path is clearing. Your purpose is calling. And now, finally, you are ready to walk into the life that has been waiting for you.